And how else can you do that without what I would like to call KSA, knowledge, skills, attitude, aptitude, ability. Those extra factors that you bring to bear, because, I mean, take for granted that you are all here today and you are all learning the same basic principles of software engineering. Chances are that you will all be, to a very reasonable extent, on the same pedestal when it comes to proficiency. But some people ultimately will do better than others, and the determining factor will be those extra things that you bring to bear. How do you relate with others? How do you position the solution that you have provided? How are you able to understand? Are you able to understand the real need, and positioning whatever it is that you are pitching to solve that problem in such a manner that it will elicit the kind of response that you want from the end users?
Wow, that's awesome. Wasn't that awesome? Really, I'm just taking all of this in, really. Thank you so much. That was apt. Okay, so we have a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs here, and some of them were entrepreneurs also before coming here with one solution or the other. So I was going to ask, what are your top recipes for corporate growth? Aside individuals coming on board with the KSA, like you rightly said, and all of that. Looking at it from a corporate perspective, like what would you recommend as recipes for corporate growth? I mean, especially for startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises.
First and foremost, I'll go back to one of the principles that I shared, that capability does not equal value. Solutions or software platforms are not an end in themselves. You must begin with the end in mind. The first thing that you have to resolve is, what exactly is this about? What value will this add to the organization or to the individual that will be using this solution? And then, how well have I crafted this solution to fulfill those needs? There must be a need, and you must have a solution to fulfill that need. So you have to be solution-oriented, first and foremost. And secondly, you cannot, when you wink in the dark, nobody will see it. So you've got to find a way to put forward that solution that you have created. And there's something called deferred gratification. You don't expect that the moment you've built a solution that you'll start earning, that you'll start making money out of it. You just have to be willing to pay the price for your solution to be bedded, for your solution to be grounded in some environment that will give you the opportunity to see it work in real life. It's never possible for you to see all prevailing circumstances in real life. So it's always very easy for you to look out for an opportunity to pilot, experiment what it is that you are building. Okay, so what am I driving at here? You can find an organization, look for an opening where you can provide your services at no cost, just to get that one leg or a foot in the door strategy. That was what Bill Gates did with his Microsoft operating system. He took it, he partnered with IBM to build it. And at the end of the day, he requested to keep a copy of it, and then he took it to places to say, hey, I'm giving this to you for free, you know. And then if you find it useful, we can talk about it. And eventually he started building additional services that will run on that operating system. That was what got Microsoft to become what it is today. He did not start off by expecting that, yes, because I've built this solution, that I'm going to make $1 million a year. He wanted the solution to, first of all, solve problems. Because he knows that as soon as people find that solution useful, they will be willing, you know, to pay a consideration for it. So you just have to moderate your expectations in terms of the benefits that you begin to get on your solutions. There is a gestation period. You have to commit to excellence. Like we said, that autograph your job with excellence. When you find a solution, or when you find when you find a package that fulfills a need, you do not need to sell it. It will sell. A good product will always sell itself. I give you an example. That was about 2007. There was this Indian that was coming to my office every evening with a CD. He kept bugging me, please, I need you, just try this out. Just try this out. And reluctantly, I tried it. It was called, the name escaped me. But that was the very first solution that enabled us to send SMS from a PC or from a laptop. That was the beginning of transaction alerts in this country. Today, the company has grown so big that and it's an Indian company, unfortunately. My national pride gets crushed when I hear this. But the company was run by two Indian brothers, and they were making tons and tons of money from almost all the banks from the proceeds of what they were selling. But the two of them were living in a 2-bedroom flat around Obalende. And they had a car and a driver. That was all. And they continued to reinvest what they were making from transaction alike. At a point, on a monthly basis, we were paying them 45 million. They would come to my office wearing the same pair of pants and shirts, driving in the same car, living in the same apartment, and they were married. Today, their headquarters is in Bahrain. They are building another solution because they believe that the end of SMS alert is near. So they are given that almost everybody is carrying a smartphone. So they are trying to replace transaction notification via SMS with an app, and they are building that in Bahrain. If it were to be Nigerians, trust me, the first million that they made, they will move to Lekki Phase 1.
Really, really insightful. Okay, so I'm going to leave this to the audience now. I'm sure we have questions. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Hopefully, let's see who we have. Okay, so we're going to take in 3, 4 questions. So if you have questions, you want to have